as how important these games are, and again, especially in Complexity's case, coming off that harsh loss, a game that they really should have won in so many ways, but just could not close it out behind the Naga Siren of Miracle, a hero that he plays a bit. In this case, he's going to play the Sven, but yeah, that's a Night Stalker for Complexity. I mean, I like this hero.
I love this hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty difficult one to pull off just because for 5 minutes you are worse than a creep, basically. But I mean, if anyone has made me a believer in Night Stalker, 33 has shown that this hero can be completely insane if you get him off to a good start. And he really is like a carry from the offlane role and quite good against the likes of Ember Spirit with that perpetual silence if you can get on top of him.
Is 1-4 in these qualifiers so far. So again, hasn't been played a lot, only 5 games total, but 1-4 record. So not necessarily the most confidence there when you look from that perspective. But yeah, both you and I agree. I mean, the hero certainly can be very powerful. Yes, the first 5 minutes sucks, but takes off, and yeah, having that just unstoppable silence is great against a hero like an Ember Spirit, certainly. So do we think this is going to be a 4 or 3 Night Stalker, by the way? I think
definitely Tavo hero. He's been playing it quite a bit in pubs.
Okay.
And he regularly goes for a blink dagger on it, which would help him, use that silence on a hero like Ember Spirit.
Gotcha. So yeah, top of that, that means Z-Freak on the Earthshaker, and Xolotl confident to pick up the Medusa in that 4th spot. So they would not mind this game going much later, and Medusa into somebody like a Sven. Feels potentially pretty good with that Stone Gaze.
Yeah, definitely.
5 seconds.
Does mean that this is going to be you'd think it's going to be a safe lane Ember Spirit then, just because Medusa tends to benefit most from being in that mid lane. But yeah, 2 melee cores against the Medusa. Gotta lean towards Xolotl at this point in terms of the draft, especially when you have all the disruption around them with the Ember Spirit, the Spirit Breaker. No save, but Medusa usually can save herself once she gets a decent amount of farm.
Well, speaking of save and just really a great matchup, I mean, they have to ban OD here on Xolotl's side, I feel like. OD would be a fantastic final pick for Complexity right now in that last spot. So we'll see if that's what they end up going with. And it's certainly one that Limp has played plenty and is very comfortable with.
Yeah, absolutely. The monoburn, of course, and then just the general utility of the hero.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
Pure damage, piercing through.
Well, they're going to think about it for now. Of course, this leads into what would be their final pick, and for Xolotl, you figure it's going to be an offlane. That comes to mind after the Centaur ban from Complexity. So we'll see what direction they go from there. No Darkseer, no Centaur. Let's see, look at the list. Mars? Is Mars still there? Mars is still there.
Mars is still there. That definitely is a hero that's fallen off quite a bit. He hasn't been picked nearly as often as he was. It seems to be sort of like a regional thing. Some regions value him higher than others.
They could use more hard crowd control, so maybe like a Sand King wouldn't be a bad final pick here. He's not banned, right? He's still good.
Old reliable.
Yeah.
I definitely like that idea. It would allow them to have a bit more just sort of like lane presence. Right now they have 3 heroes that want to roam a lot.
They take the Pango instead. OD was left open, by the way. I mean, they banned Puck. Obviously, I suppose that would have been decent, sure, but is there a reason they wouldn't go OD here? Okay, well, it's because they want Alchemist. I just felt like such a good OD game. But no, they go the Alchemist instead, and I obviously think that's going to be Limp playing it.
Yeah, they see the very sort of, I guess, I wouldn't necessarily call Xolotl greedy. They do have a Medusa, so, definitely going to go towards the mid and late game stage for the most part. And so they go for the Alchemist, who can outscale Medusa. It's hard to say who has the advantage in this one.
Yeah, Alchemist it's an iffy pick for me, but it's one of those when we're playing best of ones. Alchemist is certainly one of these heroes that you last pick to throw the other team off, right? It's like a Broodmother. It's like that, or not the Huskar to an extent, the meat, but just whatever. You feel like the matchup works out very well. You 10th pick a hero like an Alchemist to just take over the game and win it for you. So clearly they're very confident with it here, both in the matchup and throughout. And
I will say that the burst damage from Xolotl is very, very lacking against an Alchemist. They don't have really any hard physical damage. Medusa, late game, of course, is dangerous, but even then, she's not really just like two-shotting any heroes. And Alchemist can definitely sustain through the Ember Spirit and Pangalier's disruptive sort of long-term fight damage.
Z-Freak, 1969 and 926 record all time. That's so many games.
Your nightmare.
Okay, here we go into Complexity versus Xolotl. Again, both these teams with an 0-1 record coming in. A lot of matches still to be played, but certainly would like a victory here. Complexity is heavily favored when you look at the odds, at least. But I really don't know. Again, with the labs, what they played out, sold on the OD pick. They go the Alchemist route instead, and certainly can just take over the game and snowball with it. But Xolotl has ways to contest, and if they are able to take it much later on themselves, then that's where they could find their big opening. And they do have Chen, and he's, again, one of these heroes that can control so much of that earlier game. Right now partnered with the Ember Spirit at the bottom that can also cause issue for Complexity. So they're going to be tri-laning.
Yeah, Sven is a really good aggressive tri-lane hero if they decide to go this way.
Seconds to battle.
And this will allow the Night Stalker to not just get completely shut down, which is the main weakness of the hero is the first 5 minutes. If you get completely zoned, the hero feels like he doesn't do anything. But if you get some levels, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, getting him in a solo role, exactly. You get into ideally something like being solo level 4, even level 5 by the 5-minute mark would be. You would accept level 4 though for sure.
Yeah, and then you can just kind of lane swap around nighttime. Night Stalker will start to roam, maybe even pressure the safe lane carry.
So it is a 2-for-2 bounty rune. No contesting really going on by either side. As Ember Spirit, Ifrit is swapping up, it looks like. Ask, of course, middle as Medusa, as he did not get the block in time, though, so this is going to push all the way out of the Tower of Limp. But Ember Spirit heading all the way to the top lane himself. Going to match up with the Spirit Breaker up there as his teammate, and that means Chen right now is going to get maybe a little bit of experience while Yano on Pango makes his way down to the bottom. So, yeah. Xolotl making the lane swaps, as they were blocking with Earthshaker, weren't they? So, yeah, they get the pushback lane.
Yep, so Sven basically playing as if he's the safe laner in the off lane here. Exactly how he wants to be.
That feels pretty good. And LZ Freak, he's looking to cut through. Of course, Xolotl's aware that, if anything, Earthshaker's missing. In fact, I'm going to spot that now as Chen's being run down. Earthshaker with those boots of speed. He's going to put the pressure in, but knowing that he's there now, can ideally play around that at least. But yeah, 3 versus 2 at the bottom lane. That does mean, of course, 2 versus 1 at the top lane. And as we talked about, try to address top over in this Night Stalker the best they can. But so far, he's been able to farm pretty well.
Yeah, he's not really going to be pressured by just a solo Ember Spirit. And even with the Spirit Breaker coming over, Ember's not really going to provide enough damage to pressure this Night Stalker out of the lane, I don't think.
Yeah, Spirit Breaker just relying on some bash procs maybe to line up. Of course, when he gets level 2, then can certainly do some extra harassment. But yeah, I would think Tavo's very happy with how this is playing out right now. Up at the top lane, and you got middle lane Alchemist versus Medusa. And slight advantage for Medusa early at 8-3, but you got Alchemist at 8-0. He's feeling pretty good as well about that mid matchup.
It's gonna be a pretty boring mid lane. Both heroes just really want to shove out the wave, go farm their side camp, come back, repeat for 25 minutes.
Nah, not that long. 20 minutes maybe, and then suddenly Alchemist is 6 slotted.
True.
And he's got the early Arcane Rune as well.
And that is the difference between these two heroes, is that Limp can definitely go, the the Radiance into Blink Dagger and start moving around, blowing people up, whereas Esk, he is not going to be getting involved for a lot longer.
Bottom lane, charge coming in. You see Zefrik's also low. 343 is going to get first blooded. As Yano credit for that first blood, and they might get more out of this. Zefrik's going to hide off into the trees. Sven just keeps running, and that will do it. You see Chen with the Alpha Wolf, so buffing up some damage for the team. As the rotation from Spirit Breaker proves to be a pretty good one, and Xolotl takes the first blood. It's the danger of a Spirit Breaker, of course.
This bottom lane is turned into a full-on try at the moment. So definitely the action will be down here.
That's what I was kind of expecting, too. I guess he was waiting for level 2 on Spirit Breaker to have the charge, and then that's when he can start assisting at this bottom lane specifically, because clearly wasn't doing anything really with the top lane, so it is a free-farming Night Stalker at this point.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how long they stick around here, because Pango is a hero that once you get a few levels on him, he can handle a tri-lane or most dual lanes by himself. Dashes.
Watching top lane. God, they're both getting so low, but neither one going to get a kill.
Regen heavily favoring Tavo, though. He's got 4 tangos and a salve left.
Casual chainmail on top of that. Yeah, so he really is winning. He's going to easily be level 5. I mentioned that. That's a sweet spot, especially if he can get that before the 5-minute mark, and he's definitely got that.
10 armor.
Yeah.
Insane.
He's still applying some pressure. Of course, with that flame guard, he has to be careful himself. In fact, Ifrit's going in for the kill. Pops a mango, wants that turn kill. Fairy Fire Pop from Tava. The slight is not enough damage as the flame guard wears off. So, again, both players living life on the edge, it feels like, but neither one actually falling right now.
Yeah, I think Ifrit actually needs to be kind of careful here because Tava's going to hit level 6 before him, and once he gets that ultimate up, he's going to be able to run down this Ember Spirit super easily.
Well, hell, even sorry, in 15 seconds.
Ridiculous hero.
Yeah, he absolutely is. I mean, in 15 seconds, he can get the kill if Ember Spirit's not careful. So,
and he's going to hit nighttime right as these bounty runes spawn. So Ifrit needs to be very careful with trying to contest these.
There he's chasing. He wants the bounty rune first. He's going to try to take it. A body block. Oh, Ifrit gets it, but now is he in trouble? No. Oh. Good play by Ifrit, at least, to take the bounty rune. Remember, especially against an Alchemist, so they make it a 2-for-2 trade. Close call, though. Yeah, I don't know if Tavo's going to necessarily be rotating, but maybe he wants to come bottom lane, because look at the pressure being applied down here. You think Night Stalker should be looking to go bottom, or just continue free farming top?
I think he wants to hit level 6 first, because that is pretty much just a guaranteed kill when he does make a rotation.
He's getting there.
Getting kind of low.
Well, he's baiting because the Earthshaker's coming in. Earthshaker's still level 1. It's not been a... Okay, he hits level 2 right there, as I say that. I don't know if Ifrit actually knows. I think he saw him. I went to his vision for a second. It looked like he could see a glimpse of him.
They're going to go for the kill here.
Here's level 6. He doesn't have the silence yet. Isn't enough damage. The shackles. Tavo has to be careful. Tavo might die himself. Out comes the fissure. Yeah, now Tavo's going to be, well, now it's going to be charged on Zefrik, actually. And Zefrik all of a sudden is going to get turned. And Tavo just has to TP out. Wow. Yeah, very close call for the Night Stalker. He could not keep the pressure up enough.
No, he just got a little too low before that play was made. And despite having 12 armor right now, it doesn't help that much against Ember Spirit.
And that's also the conversation of, if he goes to the 2-1-2 build instead, that's probably a kill. Because, of course, that's that silence with that ultimate active. You just cannot get away. He would not have been able to slight right there. Or shackle for that matter. And I do think that's a difference maker. So I always look for that whenever I'm seeing a Night Stalker. Now he decides to pass up the crippling fear, and that I got to believe that makes him miss out on that kill, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's kind of like a double-edged sword going for the crippling fury. Like, you get the kill, sure, with your first ultimate, but then you also just have a useless ability for the next 10 minutes.
Not use. Even in daytime, it's not.
It's so bad. You can't even catch people.
Yeah, I mean, your move speed obviously hurts. Yeah, it feels pretty bad. I mean, I agree, sure. So, hindsight to say, I suppose. But 2-0 start for Xolotl. You do see Alchemist, though. No surprises, topping the net worth. And Does have double bracer picked up. As the Radiance is also queued up for Limp. Bottom lane, charge coming in. Oh my god, that follow-up. However, the Warcry for Ancient Apparition is not enough to save him. Yana with the follow-up of the Swashbuckle, and more than enough damage. Has that casual Javelin. That makes a little more sense.
Yeah, this is a pretty high damage bottom lane for Xolotl with this Chen having the Alpha Wolf creep. Every little bit counts when all these heroes are level 5. And I think I'd like to start seeing some tower pressure being put on by Xolotl, really starting to choke out the ability of Call to just kind of sit back and farm with their more greedy lineup in the Alchemist and Sven.
Yeah, that's what it seems like you have to do in this earlier game for sure. That's where the lineup is a little funky, though, at the same time, because, again, you have a Medusa who's not necessarily looking to be pushing towers with your team early on, and Ember Spirit's not that great at sieging either. Can be active, but so far this game he's been chilling at the top lane in that 1v1 matchup really against Night Stalker. And, hey, I mean, it's working out for Ifrit, certainly, to an extent, but that's where the game
I kind of like him sitting up here, to be honest, because it keeps Tavo here in this lane, and it means that Night Stalker is going to spend the entire first night basically just farming, which is fine because he farms much better with the Hunter and the Knight, but at the same time, you kind of want him to be snowballing up kills.
Yeah. Now the question is, does he get Crippling Fear at level 8? Hasn't leveled it up just yet. There we go. Now he picks it up. So now he has that silence, but 40 more seconds. It is going to be daytime. Granted, he does have Dark Ascension.
And he's going to rotate with that, having the Crippling Fear and the ult back up. They're going to head towards mid.
Spiritbreaker's out of there. He says, I don't want to stick around anymore. Night Stalker's missing. Medusa was farming elsewhere in the jungle. Eskis coming back to the mid lane, but that's, I mean, Medusa's not an easy gank by any means for Night Stalker. It's probably the toughest, of course, in the game right now. It's going to be throughout, really, for the Night Stalker to kill, so Esk feels pretty cozy. Yes, we are going to be coming up to 10 minutes. Radiant scans the Night Stalker in the area at the Bounty Rune, and they are going to give those up, so it's going to be another 2 for 2, and if you're Xolotl, I think you're overall pretty satisfied with that, especially considering you're up against the Alchemist. As long as you're trading, you'll take it.
Yeah, they did bring Ifrit down to the bottom lane, hoping to not only keep him out of the clutches of the Night Stalker, but also start pressuring this tier 1 tower. At the same time, Complexity reads this move happening. They move Miracle to the top lane preemptively. So he's going to have a little bit of free farm here, while Xolotl focuses the buildings.
Mid lane, as I said, it's a very difficult kill. I mean, yeah, I just don't see that working, honestly, in any world. And now Tavo, he's going to be charged back in. The Swashbuckle doesn't really connect, though, and Tavo just flies away. A lot committed there, though, to try to just put pressure on Medusa, and they do get some rotations from the Radiant side, but now Tavo's just going to fly all the way to the bottom lane, as still has that Dark Ascension for a little bit longer, but it's going to wear off now, and we're back to daytime. Yeah, so a very desperate play right there from Complexity, but it just did not seem like that was ever going to work.
Yeah, Medusa was able to get off the Mana Shield, so that was the big difference maker there.
I suppose before, maybe a different story, but either way, Z-Freak, he's in trouble. They're diving in pretty heavily. Bash Proc comes out, and he goes down. You see the roll from Yano as well, the Hand of God on top of that, and now the lockdown is real on Tavo. He can't move a damn foot. He finally is able to move, though, and the Ice Blast coming through to get the turn kill on a Pango, and Tavo, maybe daytime, but he's still doing a little bit of damage. He eventually falls. As that little trade right there going okay for Complexity, but it's going to get worse. Xolotl going to pick off Ancient Apparition. Double kill for Ifrit. And they also see the stack right here, by the way, too. And yeah, you talk about it. He wants more. He's got an Arcane Rune, so of course he wants more. He's not going to get it, though.
Yeah, they're going to need to move this Medusa over here to steal the stack, I think. Nobody else on their team can even touch it.
Middle lane. You see the stun from Alchemist onto the Medusa, but now with the supporting cast nearby, yeah, the combo's coming out apparently from Earthshaker somewhere as 10, or that was, yeah, Earthshaker going down despite doing what he could. It almost looked like he used Echo Slam with the combo counter coming out, but not the case. He actually still has it.
Double damage.
This game went from 0 to 60 really quick as soon as Ember Spirit and Spirit Breaker started getting active. However, I will say that Complexity, with that move towards the mid lane, were able to delay the bottom tier 1 tower push, which meant that Xolotl was a little bit slower in pressuring that mid tower and allowed Complexity to defend. So it does look like Sven's going to be able to clear up this stack, and that's actually a pretty big deal, being able to defend that.
That's a huge deal. I mean, you look at Miracle, his net worth, even with clearing that up, he just barely jumps ahead of the Ember and the Pango for now. So it hasn't been the greatest farm so far for Miracle. He's certainly needed that. You can only imagine if that was taken away from him, how much he'd be continuing to somewhat struggle. But he picks it up a bit. He's going to try to finish the Echo Saber now, just around the corner from doing so, and yet another tool to help accelerate. So the good news for Complexity, though, on top of all that, is Limp, who's just running off right now. He's got 10,000 net worth, about 4,000 or so higher than the Medusa in second. And he just picked up a Blink Dagger to follow up the Radiant. So that leads me to believe Limp wants to start being active sooner than later with that unstable concoction.
Yeah, I'd expect him to start trying to look to link up with the Night Stalker, especially once nighttime hits. It may even potentially defend. No, top tower's too low. But absolutely, this is going to be when Complexity looks to take advantage of this timing. Medusa is going to be AFK right now. She's sort of at that point where top lane.
They're going for it, showing off the blink. Limp trying to make the kill happen on Spearbreaker. It's going to be an easy one to the end. 3 for 3 credit for it, but now the response. Ifrit credit for the turn on Ancient Apparition. So make it a 1 for 1. Again, showing off the blink, at least getting a support kill. The Radiant team is there and responding, and Medusa busy farming the bottom lane. Finding Earthshaker in the jungle.
Yeah, it looks like Miracle will be playing more of a supportive, sort of initiating Sven. It looks like, because he skipped the Midas, he's going for Echo Saber into Blink Dagger. So Alchemist is the true position 1 in this game. And Limp is having an excellent start.
Well, that starts to, I mean, obviously that's still a debate that we'll have later on, I'm sure, but I'll hold that thought, because that's a Dark Ascension. Awkward fissure right there. I guess, I don't know if he's actually trying to block them out from getting the tower kill, I suppose. That seemed a little off, because Dark Ascension was even committed. Usually you want to pick a fight with that, but they do deny the tower. At least for Complexity. And now they're going to try to go for the 15-minute bounty. Ruins Lip, able to pick up his, and Complexity should be able to get 3 of them. In fact, they might find a kill Medusa. Going to be silenced up with a Crippling Fear. That's going to be a tough one, though. She still has a little bit of mana left, and the TP's coming in. Now Tabo, he's being charged. Here comes Ifrit. Great shackle. Will it last long enough? Popping the drums. Tavo good for now, but Spearbreaker still charging in. Pops Bulldoze. He's going to get off another strike, and this should set up a kill on a Tavo. No more Dark Ascension. He cannot fly over the ledge. And the lockdown was real anyway, so they end up getting a turn out of all of that onto the Night Stalker.
Yeah, the action keeps on rolling, and 3K net worth for Complexity, but that's not a whole lot when you have an Alchemist that is 5,000 net worth ahead of everybody else in the game.
True. As it dumps down to even 2K right now. That goes back to my point about Alchemist and how Sven's building. I wonder if Sven might be the first candidate that they're thinking about giving the axe to. Just to really, not even buff himself, but buff the team with the God Strength.
I like the idea. It's most likely going to go to the Earthshaker just for that extra mobility and stun, but there's always that debate. Sven plus Medusa with the Ags is dirty, I will say that.
Sure. Yeah, I suppose the lineup around Sven, I mean, Alchemist could benefit, but yeah, isn't one that where you're like trying to rush it on necessarily. So, but that's still a bit away. As Alchemist even trying to finish his own Mantis style next, which again, Limp is getting there. Checking that worth, but Medusa's catching up pretty nicely. Gonna take out a stack himself. Esk is doing a fine job, has the full Sanjin Yasha taken care of. So decides to go S&Y, and as the Dragon Lance queued up now, as look at this bottom lane. Xolotl's, I think they're baiting at the tower.
I would say so. They're definitely not going to give this one up. They haven't lost any of their tier 1 towers, and 17 minutes in, which means that it's going to be harder and harder and harder for Complexity to actually force these down, especially with the global presence that Xolotl has.
Pango, by the way, going the Yule's choice with the casual Javelin early on. Picked up Arcane Boots into Yule's, though. Now he's going to try to get the Maelstrom follow-up. As I look back at Tavo and gotta say this Night Stalker, especially considering the start, just really has not felt good. This is a hero that you want assistant kills with early on. He's 0-2-1 in the game right now on Night Stalker, so it's still gonna be potentially useful, but is not where you want to be for complexity.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the farm discrepancy between the Pango and the Night Stalker, and that's just going to get farther and farther as Pango continues to shove out waves and Night Stalker runs around and, you know, right clicks, creeps 4 or 5 times to kill them.
Yeah, this is that part of the game where you're like, yeah, I wish we didn't have a Night Stalker right now. I wish it was another hero.
Yeah.
Like a Magnus.
I think it kind of goes back to Esk holding that lane, or Ifrit holding that lane. He just sat there and sat there and sat there, kept the waves pushed into the tower, and meant that Tavo had a hard time actually leaving the lane.
Yano, he's still chilling down here, setting up for an eventual defense. As the charge is already in. There's Rolling Thunder. Nope, canceling. Dark Ascension used by Tavo, though, sitting on top of Spearbreaker. They're going to catch a Panic God coming out with the Ice Blast, securing that kill. And now he also finds the Pango flying through. Here's those TPs. Aski's got Stone Gaze even, not using it just yet. Ifrit also joins the party, though. Buyback, by the way, on Spearbreaker. He's going to be charging back in as they pick off Chen. But Miracle does indeed die in the midst of it. Sven gets taken out. Tavo, Dark Ascension is going to be wearing off soon, about 5 seconds or so. He's going to take a charge, though. He pops the Silence just before and gets a Fissure Stun as well. But now he's going to be coming back to the ground, not as fast, not as slippery. And the Nether Strike hits, and the teardown from Yano, and the Swashbuckle connects. So Xolotl certainly winning that exchange. And was Alchemist? Yeah, Alchemist wasn't even there, though. I mean, he's busy pushing middle lane for complexity.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird engagement by complexity. I mean, you can tell that Xolotl is very comfortable playing this sort of bend don't break style with a Medusa. They know when they can take fights, they know when they need to show up. And complexity's trying to force it with the Sven that just doesn't really have that much damage right now. Night Stalker doesn't have any gap close, and Earthshaker was 100 gold off the Blink Dagger when they took that fight, so pretty strange engagement.
I mean, Limp, the net worth still continues to be impressive, but is it going to be the ultimate game changer in the end? Looking to build a BKB next as 3-4-3 near the Roshan pit. He gets found and cut down, and Xolotl gets 3 of the bounty. They're going to get all 4 bounty runes. In fact, they also catch Alchemist. Pango does. Fissure's not going to hit. Rolling Thunder on through, hits him a couple of times. Chen's helping, going to amp some damage.
I don't know about this.
Spearbreaker hits as well. You mentioned Limp, though. He's got that Chemical Rage. He's got Manta Style. They call an Esk, so that was the play right there, but it is not enough. So, yeah, with Medusa coming in, if Complexity tried to respond there, that could have been deadly, actually. Not the
I forgot about the Chen recall. I was like, I don't know if you want to take this fight without Medusa on a shrine, but
yeah.
Xolotl feeling really confident right now. Medusa level 19 already. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I noticed that she had a good 2-3 level advantage on Alchemist even earlier on, and it still remains at about a 2-level lead over Alk. And she's almost got that Eye of Scotty now finished. So, bit of a change of, ooh, Alchemist. Wants to go in, they jump Medusa, Ice Blast coming through. Spearbreaker going to charge the AA in the back lines, though. The follow-up, the Echo Slam, they want this kill, damn it. Esk loses the mana, couldn't pop the Stone Gaze as a result, and he does get taken out. Spearbreaker also in trouble. Cold Feet proc and eventually cut down by the Chemical Rage activated Alchemist, and now another Hector. He's run down. Chen's not going to survive this. 3 are dead. It might be a 4th. They also catch up, too. Yano on the Pango, and just like that, it feels like, yeah, what about that from Complexity? They just really turned it on all of a sudden.
What a crazy stun lock on that Medusa. Could not get the Stone Gaze off, and
Radiant's middle tower is under
that's
attack.
a really big deal. As Complexity's not going to be able to take tier 1 mid, potentially could even double back for Roche if they wanted to, but I guess with the Dark Ascension and God Strength being down, they'll settle for some map control.
So the tier 1 tower
Radiant's middle tower
could be denied. Or Ember Spirit, no, he tried.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Gonna get in there though. So
Esk lost a lot of gold there.
Yeah.
He's now a bit away from that Scotty.
Yeah, he still needs the point booster. That is quite the delay. Well, you see what Alchemist, I mean, again, that's really the first time he's been heavily involved in a huge fight like that. for Complexity. And, oh, he gets a Shivas now as the follow-up. So I think he had a BKB queued up. I figured that's what he was going for, but changes his mind as the game develops.
Yeah, I think that he recognizes that Xolotl is going to run into some very serious damage problems if they itemize correctly here, because, like we said at the beginning, when the draft is completing, they don't have any burst for this Alchemist. There's just no way that they're going to be able to full to zero him before he gets off his ultimate.
Chen with the helm with a Dominator.
Radiant's bottom tower
So
has fallen.
creeps galore for Chen. As he's moving around with the team. Gonna take the Hellburst Smasher before Yano kills it on the Pangu, who's now got his Maelstrom finished. Medusa does have enough gold at least for that I've Scott, and also just got level 4. Or, why did I say that? Level 20. I saw the 4-second Mystic Snake cooldown. So, anyways, gets that talent. First one to hit level 20 of the game. As bottom lane, Alchemist just stunned himself. It looks like they were going for a kill, but unable to catch.
There's a ward spotting this right here near the bottom bounty rune.
Yeah. That guy.
Or the power rune, rather.
And Complexity will just kill it. They realize that. Kind of gave it away when, I think that was Ember Spirit down there. That fell back. So good kind of word on their part. Yeah, Earthshaker, of course, he got the blink and saw that come into play, especially for the kill onto the Medusa earlier. Speaking of the lockdown.
It is interesting to see the Medusa go for an S and Y instead of a Manta. I mean, he can't dispel the silence from Night Stalker, but Manta Dodge seems like a pretty valuable commodity against... Although, again, at the same time, there's a bunch of stuff that's pretty hard for Manta Dodge to happen, since Stormhammer does AoE damage, Ice Blast usually hits even through the Manta Dodge.
Well, to that point, why not a BKB then? Why not just like Yasha and do B? Or I guess you could still go it, of course. But
the Manta more so just for like the split push, get rid of cold feet while you're sieging. I mean, the stats resistance is okay against the likes of an Earthshaker and all the stuns coming out, but 16% is probably not enough to really have that much of an impact.
yeah, and isn't thinking BKB at this point either. Is thinking Butterfly for now. I'll put some evasion. And just
but yeah, I agree. Like Yasha into Scotty into Butterfly seems like a pretty good build path. But we'll see. Maybe he'll go for a Satanic as well, and then just really be difficult to keep locked down.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's a route we can certainly see, and we've definitely seen before the full-on status resistance build. So I mentioned the idea of a BKB, but I almost like that better actually. With you have the S and Y, just go with Satanic now. And even when you take a stun, it doesn't really last that long anyways. Alchemist just got a BKB though, speaking of that, so he does go back for it. And he is almost level 20, which is pretty important, because that unstable concoction damage, that on top of the level 10 talent, it's a lot of burst that he's going to be bringing out in that physical sense.
Yeah, as the chat wheel says, you know it's cooking, boom.
Uh-huh. Is that what it says, yeah?
Oh, yeah. But yeah, BKB also finished for Miracle, so a bit of a timing here for Complexity. Tavo a bit away from his, but he does have the Blink Dagger to get on top of the Ember Spirit.
Ooh, Complexity can trap for a smoke. Now there is a ward here. I don't think it's all that. We would have seen pings, I figure, if they did. So I don't think they saw the smoke, and Tavo is wrapping around. He's got his Blink Dagger as well. He's going to be exposed. He pops Dark Ascension. He's going in. Who does he catch? He catches Yano for now, but he got Yules. There's the Ice Blast and the kill. The Hand of God coming a little bit too late. Medusa caught by Sven, but the follow-up, they were focused on the Pango, so not going to happen. Whoa, raid kill. That was a little too deep. He's got Bulldoze, but the concoction connects, and he's kiting away.
Does not have the damage. They do not have the damage to take this fight right now.
They got Stone Gaze. Esk is going to use a very not necessary Stone Gaze. I mean, obviously from their perspective, they figured that Complexity was going to commit further. Not the case, though, really. Spiritbreaker catches up to Ancient Apparition at least. Another strike, but you got to be careful with the supporting cast coming in. Earthshaker with a fissure. Not in time, though, to do anything else. And Ancient Apparition goes down. So they do find a one kill. And I mean, they committed a Stone Gaze, but certainly a solid hold from Xolotl.
Yeah, that's just an awkward engagement. You could tell that Xolotl did not want to take that fight. They don't feel like they have the damage to win it. Same time, Complexity, they kind of whiffed a bunch of their initiation, focused everything on the Pangolier, and took him down, but Xolotl was sort of weaving through the trees and very spread out, unable to utilize Spirit Breaker, unable to utilize the Earthshaker very well in that fight.
We're seeing some BKBs making an appearance, Sven. Of course, he's still sitting on his 10-second. Ember Spirit on the other side almost has his finished. Just needs that Ogre Axe, and then will be delivered to Ifrit. Roshan has not been attempted yet, as we are 25 minutes, or 28 minutes even, into the game now. So something to keep in mind as well. Ooh, there's a double damage that just spawned bottom. And Sven will be the one to pick it up. And Complexity, they might want to fight this. Eska's diving pretty deep. Merkel.
He doesn't have the butterfly yet, so he is aggressively positioned. And I feel like, again, they do have damage problems. This Ember Spirit has definitely fallen off. He's not really scaling that well. He's going for a BKB next, and that means that it's really going to be down to Esk. And I guess maybe the Pangolier to provide the ability to kill anybody on Complexity.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose there's that. So either Pango or Ember Spirit maybe should have itemized a little bit differently throughout this game. I'm thinking like Pango could have certainly gone for more of the, even the MKB route. He didn't get the Maelstrom, he went back to it, but he is playing more utility here.
Yeah, they're just very all in on this Esk Medusa. Which is a fine hero to be all in on.
Sure.
To be fair.
Yeah, that's not necessarily an issue, but we'll see if they can make it all come together. Sven, he gets a Chrysalis, so Merkel's certainly thinking about dealing some damage. Bloodthorn queued up on top of that.
Is that a minion?
What?
The courier for Xolotl.
Oh. Kind of looks like
What is that?
Got a tattoo on its right arm. What a badass. Oh, well, left
Radiant's
arm, too.
middle tower is
Motorcycle
under attack.
minion.
Yeah. That's cute. So, 30-minute mark we're going to hit now, and another rune to spawn. Complexity's camping the bottom one. They're going to smoke up around the bottom. The top is where the rune will spawn, though. It's a haste, which Medusa will snatch up quickly. Has the butterfly finish. No buyback currently for Medusa. Keep that in mind. The jump is certainly bound to happen.
Medusa just left the area.
Pango's a free kill. He's out for 47 seconds. They pop Dark Ascension. Complexity, will they try Roshan for this? They want top.
Radiant's middle
Oh,
tower is under
Spirit
attack.
Breaker trying to TP out. There's a pipe now, but it's going to be all for naught. So that's 2 kills, and that certainly could open up the idea of a Roshan now for Complexity. But they do see Ifrit pushing top lane, being
Radiant's
annoying.
top tower has fallen.
They're going to go
Still
for
gonna go
Roshan.
for this for sure. Absolutely. Dark Ascension will run out, but they're definitely gonna have enough damage here. No buyback on either the Pango or the Spirit Breaker.
See the net worth lead, it's been steadily rising.
Oh, Ember, they're thinking about contesting here.
He wanted to steal, I think. There's no way they're going to contest this. It's trying to be sneaky, but that is going to be a Roshan kill. Merkel picks it up. Are they fighting? Oh, maybe they are. Limp actually jumped in right there, avoided some kind of stun. Shen going to be locked down because of it. The BKB from Limp. It's only got a couple more seconds, though, being slowed down. Medusa just simply walks away, and that'll be that. So, yeah, Xolotl coming in very late for the contesting. And
These are some very strange engagements in this game.
these are some we're playing for a lot of the line engagements, in my opinion. It's just you can tell they are feeling it. Making some awkward initiations. Because, yeah, both teams, I do agree. Some funky choices.
And it's hard, too, because you don't want to go on the Medusa. You don't want to go on the Alchemist. You have to sort of avoid the front line, get to the back line, but both teams are positioning quite well, keeping their big, tanky carry hero in the front.
Alchemist, he has an axe queued up, by the way. Currently 5,400 gold saved up, so we'll talk about more of that in a second because initiation. Alchemist went in as he was getting jumped. And now Alchemist is spread out. Ifrit's diving on a Z-Freak back here. Heals on up, going to go for 3 for 3 now instead, and 3 for 3 will be cut down, and they also get the kill on a Z-Freak. Back over here, you have Alchemist currently disarmed, trying to run, pops a Manta, slowing down by enough. Scotty though, and Ember Spirit chasing further. Can he get a Shackles down? That Chemical Rage popping a BKB for this. There's a buyback on Ancient Apparition. They did not have one in Z-Freak though. At the top of the backline though, going for Yana. Yana's going to be cut down. The Dark Ascension active from Tavo, that is, but the Stone Gaze now coming out from Medusa. And the Dire team going for a reset of sorts. They do get the kill on Raykill, and now Esk is certainly all alone. Is it enough? Is it going to matter, though? As Ifrit's coming in late, the silence from Tavo being an issue. Esk is getting low. That Sven is just sitting on top of him with the auto text. He's going to go for the TP. They don't have another stun. He gets out. Ifrit does get taken out for the first time this game, though. And it is an 8-kill streak stopper for Tavo. So they didn't get the Medusa, but that's a pretty significant kill to have on the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, it was a buyback from both position 5 supports. But Xolotl continues to have damage problems. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it this game, and we see it. Esk immediately queues up a Divine Rapier. He recognizes that he's the only source of damage on his team, and he needs a lot more of it if he's going to carry these fights.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes back to either Ember or the Pango. Certainly could have itemized maybe a little more damage direction, but neither one necessarily did. So, yeah, it's the Divine Rapier. It just feels like you have to in this case, as we now have our biggest net worth lead for Complexity, upwards of 16,000. Jumps up quite a bit right there. And who just got a...
Ags on the Shaker.
It was on the Shaker? Okay. So that's what we figured.
And a full Bloodthorn on this Sven. So Miracle is hitting quite hard now. We saw him crit for 1,000 against the Deuce there. Really chunky in that Mana Shield.
Yikes. They give Sven the Aegis too, by the way, over Alchemist. Didn't really mention that before. But Sven has it.
A little bit interesting.
Yeah, I suppose neither is the greatest. I mean, Chemical Rage is a much shorter cooldown than, say, the God Strength, so if he was to die earlier on with it, but either way, argument for both, I suppose. So now
it's going for a Deso. I don't even know if that really helps. It's hard, but I think it does come down to the fact that both the Pango and the Ember have utilized for like a pseudo kind of like control, stay alive. Not a whole lot of damage from either of them.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Yeah, it almost feels like that Battle Fury route would have been potentially pretty good for the Ember this game. But again, easy to say that in hindsight.
Or even just more heavily into the magic route, going
True.
for Radiance and Mjolnir or something like that. But feeling like you need that BKB earlier to stay alive.
5,400 more gold saved off on Alchemist, so a potential second ag certainly could be happening. We'll see who would be a candidate for that.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has
The Night Stalker, that's AoE Void.
Radiant are scanning.
Sounds fun.
Dire's top tower.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh,
Medusa,
wow.
they jump. He's locked down. God Strength, or Hand of God comes out, but it just doesn't matter. The mana's gone, and so is Medusa. 95 seconds. She has a buyback. They did use quite a bit. They still have Echo Slam on the side of Complexity, and of course, Alchemist is standing in the front. There's the buyback finally from Medusa.
Top tower is under attack.
And Aegis times out, which means Complexity is happy to just walk away. And that Rapier is feeling a little bit like a pipe dream right now. Although,
What do they find here? That's the Ember Spirit. Ifrit is going to be a second death. Can he rim it away in time? The Echo Slam follow up, and no, he cannot.
Buyback.
70 seconds out for. Do they push this, though? You mentioned the Aegis was just taken away. You still have a Stone Gaze. You still have roll.
You know, more importantly, it's also nighttime, so Tavo is going to have, you know, full strength aside from the ultimate. But they may not know that he doesn't have buyback, so
Yeah,
playing a little bit safe.
it is some money buyback. That's true. 1,000 gold short. So they are going to play the safe route. There's a double damage at the bottom. Roshan still has at least a couple of minutes before he could spawn. So for now, continue to farm Alchemist. Yeah, making sure he didn't give Ags to anyone. That doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I was looking also. Looks like his gold is lower than it was. It's probably because he bought Boots of Travel.
Oh, yeah.
You go for a Moonshard first.
Yeah. Yeah, none of the other Ags really stand out.
I agree with that. Yeah, none of the other Ags really stands out as something that's super important in this game.
I mean, AAs is obviously always good, but it's not really necessary either. You are dealing with a Chen, I suppose, but yeah, that's not enough.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Certainly, the Moonshard's pretty good for Alchemist himself. So they're going to take out what's the last outer tower now remaining. That tier 2 top lane as Medusa finishes her BKB, so she gives up on the Divine Rapier.
Radiant's top tower
If they're going to be
has fallen.
pushing here, I mean, she wasn't going to get it anyways. So figures get an item that can at least help for this push. But Complexity, they might not actually go all the way. They could very likely just kind of choke them in the base and wait for this next Roshan.
Yeah, and they're just going to continue to scale now. Now that Tavo has somewhat caught up, and the big discrepancy is obviously the Sven and the Ember Spirit.
Dire's
Ifrit is
bottom
having
tower is under
a very
attack.
hard time doing anything in these fights, and he just doesn't even with his survivability items, he doesn't really have any way to stay alive when he gets initiated on.
Complexity warding up the jungle. You see Yano's being sneaky at the bottom lane. He cuts the creep wave somewhat, but has to TP away before he gets caught. Gets his own BKB finished. So it continues to be a popular item on either side. But Sven kind of full assault Kyros now, so Merkel, he was always a bit struggling in this game when it came to his farm, but that's certainly not the case now.
Keep chilling. He's definitely totally fine. Another weird thing was that Yana went for a very late Vanguard. He was thinking about Crimson Guard, realized they didn't have enough damage, so now he just has, 2,000 gold invested in an item that's not really helping him at all either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just some kind of funky itemization from Xolotl this game. The S and Y on Medusa still seems a little bit bizarre.
It continues to be the theme. I think you hit it right on the head as far as they hit that point of crap. We do not have enough damage, and so like everyone's trying to shift now. Even the Medusa with the Divine Rapier queued up earlier. She goes back for it now, realizing that they're not pushing. So now maybe feels a little silly about getting the BKB when she did. But either way, has another 2,000 gold saved up. Roshan, it's up already, so it must have been a quick one.
Double damage.
Double
Oh,
damage.
why not?
It's always outside the pit.
It feels that way sometimes. That means Complexity should have a pretty free Roshan on their hands, and it's only the second one, right? Yeah, only cheese.
Yep.
So they will gladly take. Probably going to get the Aegis again to Sven. Moonshard has been picked up by Alchemist and eaten. Also worth noting, level 25, of course, the Chemical Rage regeneration picked up for Alchemist.
Roshan has fallen to the
Sven, what does Sven get? The God Strength, yeah. 40 Strength, God Strength. Pretty damn good. Medusa got the 1,000 mana talent. Of course, at level 25, though, so she is a bit bulkier now. I'm actually not sure if she had that earlier or not. She died previously, but either way.
Poor Hector. This has got to be one of the least fun Chen games he's ever played.
Well, in a game like this, too, where you're just so far behind, stuck in your base, Chen just feels so useless.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get any kind of creeps he can right there, and ain't gonna happen.
Xolotl is doing a pretty decent job cutting these creep waves, although Yano probably needs to get over there and get this next one. He will. It's really their only option right now is to just delay for as long as possible.
Yep. As I said earlier, I mean, this is a bigger lead for Complexity, but this is a team that just earlier today lost a heavy net worth lead that they had to Beast Coast. And, again, completely different game circumstances, I understand, but mentally, that has to be in play here for both teams. I mean, I guarantee there's a lot else thinking about that, too. They're like, you know what? Beast Coast did it. Why can't we do it? So we're going to hold this out. They have a Medusa, who's one of these heroes. Even if you have Mega Creeps against you, you still feel like you have a chance.
Yeah, it's not like Ember is useless either in the late game. He's very, very good. He's going to go for a crit on top of that Desolator.
Okay. So yeah, certainly is shifting to that to the damage route. Mentioned Pango. Yeah, part of me wants to see Pango just sell that Vanguard and get that defusal. I guess I wouldn't do it just yet, but we'll see. That's what he decides.
Switches up for Lotus Orb, actually. So he's going to go utility. They're going to let the Ember go for the damage, but Ember is caught.
Oh, yeah, bottom lane. Stun lockdown, and there's the kill. I'm guessing Earthshaker just started that, or I guess it could have been either one, but let's see.
Yeah, he had an Is rune. He was just sitting on top of the Ember Spirit.
Okay.
Uh-oh. I just heard a BKB get popped.
Was it Night Stalker? No. Oh, it was Yano. Yano BKB to TP out. So Pango's BKB on cooldown now, so they sell that, of course. They're going to force a buyback at least on Ember Spirit. He does have a no. They just want to jump in. They want to go for the kill on Medusa. She got her BKB off, though. Pop Stone Gaze, and it's reset time for Complexity. Or is it Miracle? He gets pushed back in thanks to the Nether Strike. Sven, though, running away despite the Ice Scotty. So Alchemist ends up stunning himself right there. The Sleight of Fist causing issue. Drops to about half life, but Xolotl cannot capitalize. As he just purchased another axe, by the way. So who is he giving this to? Maybe Sven, honestly.
It is, yep.
Yeah. All right, so buff that God Strength even more for the team now.
Yeah, it's going to make Tavo that much stronger.
True.
He really benefits from that quite a bit. Another double damage for the love of Gaben.
Oh, 2 spawn now, so yeah. It is kind of funny how it is in front of Roshan, though. Just in case Roshan was ready to go, which obviously isn't. But this kind of goes back to my mentality thing a little bit in that Complexity, you kind of wonder if that game, if they ended up winning that game earlier and, you know, took care of business, would they be playing very safe right now like they are?
Probably not.
Exactly. I don't think so either.
Yeah, 44K net worth. This is getting to the point of a little over the top. But they're going to just be methodical. It's really amazing that they don't have a single shrine yet either. No tier 3 towers have been taken out, so.
Yeah. Yeah,
the map control isn't even that good.
That's why I still feel like Xolotl genuinely has a chance. 45,000 net worth lead is pretty crazy, but Medusa's not too far behind. I mean, she's farmed. This isn't like under-farmed Medusa at this point of 45 minutes. And the fact is, you just pointed out, they don't even have a tier 3 tower yet. I gotta think Xolotl still has at least hope. And when she's almost got the Divine Rapier. In fact, she could purchase it.
Yeah, she does have buyback as well, so probably going to wait to get Rapier and buyback.
Everyone else, though, different story.
Yeah, and then you just still have this Chen and Spirit Breaker who, in this type of game, are like, God, get me out.
Yeah, they feel really bad. No,
Chen makes some tea and sit in the fountain.
Yeah, Chen is just here to hit R, you know, as the fight breaks out. And obviously, you know, buff up, sure, with Divine Favor, but
he's literally just microing this creep scouting over on the enemy shrine. Completely AFK in the base with his hero.
Do they have bots? Speaking of that, no one has bots, do they? On the Radiant side?
Nope.
Something that, in a game like this, with the Chen, we could potentially start seeing being built. Alchemist. He's Sven has even surpassed the Alchemist thanks to, of course, getting assistance. But another axe is even queued up.
Why not?
Radiant structures are fortified.
Let's go for the tower, they say. It's about time. As Tavo, he jumps in on the backlands on Esk. Esk is starting to melt. Is dropping quickly and drops 125 seconds. No buyback. And that very likely is it. Did she just buy the Divine Rapier? She must have.
Rapier's on the courier over here in the woods.
That's brutal. So it was coming. Yeah, I was looking around. Yeah.
Has fallen.
Well, if they can hold another 2 minutes.
What terrible timing for Xolotl.
Yeah. Or what great timing from Complexity. Could have both ways.
I wonder. They have a ward. They have a ward on this shop.
Yeah.
And Xolotl bought it at this shop, so they saw the rapier get purchased and they went.
That's a smart ward. That's the ward. That's the only reason that ward's there, right? Like just to see if they use that shot. at this point of the game. That's a 65,000 net worth lead as the game ends. Yeah, that's a victory for Complexity if I've ever seen one. All right, so they get their first win. They move to 1-1. Again, a devastating loss for them in their first matches, again, that they had, but there's still plenty of games to be played. I know I'm saying that a lot, but certainly mean it throughout today and then tomorrow. You need to get top 4 to move on to the playoff, and then who knows what happens from there. Right now, Complexity, they're 1-1. Kind of reset things, feeling pretty good. I'm sure Xolotl 0-2. That's where things start to get a little tough on you, knowing with what's on the line. Certainly still in it themselves, but we'll see.
Gotta start winning out at this point.
Mm-hmm. Gotta start adding up the wins. Limp, the Alchemist pick proved to be a good one in the end. I mean, he went 9-0-16 on Alchemist, so certainly a great game for him. But Xolotl just cannot find the answers, despite elsewhere looking pretty good. But yeah, lacking damage, I think, continues to be you go back to and where the key was for Xolotl. Just didn't have enough.
Yep. It really was the Limp show. I mean, he hit that the blink dagger timing, and then he just took over the game completely.
So that means our coverage, personally, is going to be coming to a conclusion. We only had 2 matches today to jump on for, but 2 exciting ones at that. Victory for Complexity here. And, of course, J-Storm winning the previous match, but there's still plenty more NA action coming throughout the day. Looks like MLP will be hopping on this stream, I believe. So he's going to be joining you, finishing off for NA coverage, and we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we got 5 games that we're going to be casting. So only a couple today, but we'll be back for 5 more tomorrow. That should be a good day. And, of course, that'll lead into we'll see. We'll see who advances on at the end of tomorrow with those 5 games that we get the chance to cast. So that's exciting stuff, and certainly looking forward to that. But before we officially wrap up, as always, Elevated, any shout-outs, anything else?
Nope, just thanks for the opportunity to cast, and very excited to see what our final roster of TI teams is. Looking forward to seeing the biggest prize pool in all of esports, once again, going to Dota 2.
Love it, baby. Love it indeed. We get to find out Sunday the 3 other teams that will be joining, the 3 that qualified already through the regionals. Got a great week of Dota we've had, and that's going to continue to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, I was BreakyCPK, joined by Elevated. Continue to enjoy the great TI qualifier coverage for TI9, the regionals. We'll see you guys personally tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of today.